Welcome, everyone. Today, we are focusing on one of the most powerful security paradigms within Microsoft 365, understanding the features and capabilities of Microsoft Defender XDR. Let's dive in and see how we can secure our enterprise. Let's start by defining our core concept. What exactly is Microsoft Defender XDR? It is an integrated, holistic security suite that detects, investigates, and responds to threats across your entire digital environment. The basics are straightforward but powerful. It brings together signals from your email, your endpoints, your user identities, and your cloud applications. Why is this essential today? Because as our reliance on cloud collaboration expands, so does our attack surface. Traditional security leaves teams looking at isolated fragments of data, missing the broader context of sophisticated, multi-stage attacks. How does Defender fix this? By acting as a central nervous system, correlating telemetry into a unified view. And for our deep dive, XDR isn't just a monitoring dashboard, it is an active defense mechanism. When a threat is detected in one pillar, the intelligence is shared across all pillars, allowing the system to automatically isolate compromised assets and heal itself without waiting for human intervention. Take a look at this flowchart. At the top, we have the overarching brain, Microsoft Defender XDR. Below it are the four primary pillars of defense: Office 365, Endpoint, Identity, and Cloud Apps. Notice the dotted lines connecting these pillars. This illustrates the most critical feature of XDR, intelligence sharing. If Defender for Office 365 detects a new phishing link, it immediately shares that intelligence with Defender for Endpoint to ensure no user can open that link from their device. This interconnected architecture is what makes XDR so formidable. Now, let's break down the individual pillars, starting with Defender for Office 365. What is this tool? It is the component specifically designed to protect your email and collaboration environments, like Teams and SharePoint, against advanced threats. The basics involve scanning for phishing attempts, business email compromise, and malware. Why do we start here? Because email is overwhelmingly the #1 vector attackers use to breach an organization. How does it protect you? Let's say an employee receives an email from a seemingly trusted source, but it contains a link to a fake sign-in page. Defender for Office 365 analyzes that URL in real time and blocks access before the user can even click it. For our deep dive, consider how it handles attachments. It doesn't just look for known bad signatures, it actually detonates suspicious files in an isolated sandbox to observe their behavior. If the file acts maliciously, it is destroyed before it ever reaches the user's inbox. This sequence diagram maps the flow of an inbound attack. The attacker on the left sends an email containing a malicious URL. Before it ever reaches the user on the right, it is intercepted by Defender for Office 365. The system performs a real-time scan and sandbox detonation. Upon recognizing the threat, it blocks the malicious delivery and instead provides the user with a safe alert or a sanitized version of the email. The threat is neutralized at the perimeter. Our next pillar is Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. What does it do? It provides advanced endpoint detection and response, commonly known as EDR, alongside next-generation antivirus capabilities. Basically, it protects the actual hardware your employees use: laptops, mobile phones, and servers. Why is this critical? Because the endpoint is where the data lives and where the code runs. It is the ultimate destination for an attacker. How does it work? It continuously analyzes endpoint telemetry to detect anomalous behavior, such as privilege escalation or lateral movement. Now, let's look at the deep dive. Imagine a scenario where a user accidentally executes a ransomware payload. Defender for Endpoint detects the malicious encryption behavior instantly. Within milliseconds, it can automatically quarantine that device, completely cutting its network access to ensure the ransomware cannot spread to your corporate servers. Here we see a state diagram detailing the automated response cycle on an endpoint. The device starts in a healthy state. The moment a suspicious execution occurs, it transitions to anomaly detected. Instead of waiting for a human analyst, the system automatically transitions the device to an isolated state, cutting off network access. The SecOps team then conducts their investigation and remediation, eventually returning the machine to a healthy state. This automation is crucial for stopping fast-moving threats like ransomware. Moving to the third pillar, we have Defender for Identity. What is this? It is a specialized tool that uses signals from your on-premises Active Directory to identify sophisticated identity-based threats. The basics involve catching attacks like pass the hash, suspicious Kerberos ticket activity, or outright credential theft. Why is identity monitoring so important? Because attackers don't hack in anymore. They log in using stolen credentials. How does Defender achieve this? It uses sensor-based monitoring that deeply analyzes network traffic hitting your domain controllers. The deep dive here involves the concept of lateral movement. When an attacker compromises a low-level user, their next step is to pivot, moving laterally from one account to another, searching for domain administrator privileges. Defender for Identity sees this exact behavior, tracking the attacker's footprint across the network and alerting you before they reach your most sensitive repositories. This visual illustrates how Defender for Identity catches lateral movement. An attacker starts at the compromised user on the left, attempting to move to a target server and ultimately escalate to domain admin on the right. Below this path is the Defender for Identity sensor, which is silently monitoring the domain controller traffic. As the attacker attempts to pivot, the sensor detects the anomalous Kerberos requests and instantly fires high-severity alerts to your Security Operations Center, shutting down the attack path. Our final pillar is Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. What is this? It operates as a Cloud Access Security Broker, or CSP, providing deep visibility and control over the cloud applications your employees use. At a basic level, it performs shadow IT discovery, app governance, and stops data exfiltration. Why is this necessary? Because employees constantly bypass IT to use convenient, non-sanctioned third-party apps, creating massive security blind spots. How does it solve this? It monitors network traffic and applies session controls. It evaluates exactly what data is moving where. For a deep dive scenario, imagine an employee attempts to upload a highly confidential financial document to their personal, unsanctioned Dropbox account. Defender for Cloud Apps detects this policy violation in real time, flags the activity, and completely blocks the file upload, ensuring your sensitive data never leaves the corporate boundary. Look at this data flow diagram. A user attempts to move sensitive data. All traffic routes through the Defender for Cloud Apps policy engine. If the destination is an approved corporate application, like SharePoint Online, the traffic flows smoothly. However, if the destination is an unsanctioned app, like a personal Dropbox, the system recognizes the risk. It immediately drops down to the block action, stopping the data exfiltration and alerting the administrator. This provides absolute control over your cloud data footprint. All of these tools are impressive, but they're only as good as the intelligence powering them. Enter the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center, or MSDIC. What is MSDIC? It is the global intelligence engine that directly integrates into and updates Microsoft 365 security products. Basics: it processes an astounding 65 trillion signals every single day from across Microsoft's global ecosystem. Why is this scale important? Because it allows Microsoft to proactively spot patterns invisible to smaller organizations. How does it work? MSDIC tracks highly sophisticated nation-state actors and continuously monitors the dark web. Let's deep dive into what this means for you. If MSDIC is scanning underground forums and discovers stolen credentials belonging to your specific organization for sale, it doesn't just log it. It immediately notifies your tenant and recommends, or enforces, password resets to neutralize the threat before the attacker can even use the stolen password. This chart conceptualizes the massive data ingestion engine of MSDIC. Gathering over 65 trillion signals daily, it pulls heavily from endpoint telemetry, capturing malicious executions worldwide. It analyzes email and Office 365 traffic for new phishing campaigns. It scrutinizes identity and login attempts for behavioral anomalies. Finally, it pulls in external intelligence from dark web monitoring. All of this data is synthesized by AI and fed directly into your Defender XDR tenant, ensuring your defenses are updated by the minute. This brings us to the true superpower of Microsoft Defender XDR, correlated visibility. What does extended detection and response actually mean? It means taking isolated alerts from all the different tools we just discussed and stitching them together into a single, unified incident. At its core, it replaces 5 different siloed dashboards with one comprehensive storyline. Why is this revolutionary? Because security operations teams suffer from massive alert fatigue. By grouping related events, XDR drastically reduces the noise. How does it achieve this? It uses machine learning to connect the dots. Our deep dive realization is that this correlation enables cross-domain automation. Because XDR understands the full scope of the attack, it can fire an automated playbook that revokes a user's identity in Enter ID while simultaneously isolating their laptop in Defender for Endpoint. You mitigate the threat across your entire environment in one automated sweep. This diagram illustrates the XDR correlation engine at work. On the left, we have three distinct alerts that, in a legacy system, would go to three different analysts: a suspicious email, an impossible travel login, and a malware dropped alert. The Defender XDR engine ingests all three, realizes they belong to the exact same attack chain, and outputs a single high-priority incident. This triggers automated cross-domain remediation, crushing the attack instantly and saving your team hours of manual forensic work. Let's bring this all together with a highly practical, real-world use case, defending against a multi-stage attack. Imagine an employee receives a highly sophisticated phishing email. They accidentally click a malicious link, their credentials are stolen, and a malicious payload is downloaded to their laptop. In a traditional setup, you would have three separate alerts in three different tools, overwhelming your analysts. But with Microsoft Defender XDR, these are correlated. Defender for Office 365 detects the phishing attempt. Microsoft Entra ID and Defender for Identity flag the compromised account. Defender for Endpoint detects the malicious file. XDR takes all these signals and stitches them into a single, unified incident. More importantly, it triggers an automated playbook to contain the threat, quarantining the laptop, deleting the email globally, and forcing a password reset instantly. This is the ultimate value of XDR, turning hours of manual investigation into seconds of automated remediation. Walk through this final sequence diagram with me. The attacker executes a three-part attack, sending a phishing email, stealing credentials, and dropping malware. Each step generates an alert sent to Microsoft Defender XDR. Instead of treating them separately, XDR internally correlates these signals into a single incident timeline. Instantly, XDR fires back at the assets, executing an automated playbook that isolates the compromised endpoint and resets the user's password, neutralizing the attacker's foothold completely.
To find related ebook and other material for this training course, go to quicktechie.com. Now you will see all the video courses are available here. So let's move to the ebooks. You can go here, ebooks, all AI related ebooks, like you are watching currently Mythos related training. That ebook would be uploaded under this section. You can download this ebook. PDF would be available, all 300-page PDF. So you just click on the download this entire ebook. You can download from this section. So whatever training you are currently listening, corresponding ebook would be available. We have thousands of ebooks available. Now, other than that, we have on video courses which you are watching right now. This also all AI related courses are available. Similarly, for all company related trainings are available, like Microsoft, you can find it here with their respective certification training modules. All exam simulators which would help you to get the certification preparation. Just refresh if you get this kind of error. Okay, so now you can see these are all certification preparation materials. Will also be click here to the NVIDIA certification preparation material. So you can see all NVIDIA certification preparation materials. Click on any of this and it would load the entire screen and you can launch the practice paper. So this is what you can see, that you can submit the answer. We have an audiobooks available. Okay, so for each section, and these are our alumni who can you can find out all alumni who are accessing our portal.